last night's sleeping accommodations. Shea Walmart. You can see the city skyline back over there, sort of. But this is the view, the Delaware River. And so if you park in this orientation, you can watch the boats go by. I have to say, as a place to park overnight, it was as quiet as you expect a Walmart parking lot to ever be, but felt pretty safe. I rolled in about 6 p.m. last night, passed out in the front seat because I was exhausted, and later crawled in the back, actually put the shades up. There was some, people walking around noise, people biking around noise, but on the whole, not bad. Had a pretty good night's sleep. Somebody said it's supposed to get up to 76. Check this out. All kinds of gulls hanging out. Look at that. Love it. They're flying too fast. Alright, people. Alright, let's move on to the second day of PAX. Snagged a wheelchair from Convention Center Guest Services. Let's do this thing. Alright, folks. I arrived here at 11:30 today and spent the first 3 hours just going through the dealer's area. You can see it there behind me. 3 hours to go through that thing. Now, to be fair, almost every dealer in Dealer's Row has an area set up where you can demo the game. So I did stop and demo like 3 different games. So that added a little bit of time. But now I'm getting ready to head over to the free play area, and I'm going to go see who might be looking for a game, what games might be being demoed, and spend the rest of my time playing some board games. So let's check out more PAX. I spent most of Saturday playing games that were new to me. Most of these had been released in 2021. The first game, Traintopia, was released in 2020. It is produced by Board and Dice and was designed by Przemek Wojtkiewicz. It is a tile placement and drafting game, train-themed, where you are trying to build the best modern railway system. Very easy to play. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Like any good gaming convention, this one had lots of costumed people roaming around doing cosplay. I didn't get pictures of too many of them because you have to ask permission, and you should ask permission. And that's not something I'm super great at yet, but I will get better at it over time. Cape May by Thunderworks Games, designed by Eric Masso. This was also released in 2021. It is a set collection area-influenced strategy board game. You are a city entrepreneur buying up plots of land and developing them up into historical landmarks. Lots of Victorian theming throughout the game, which made it very interesting to me to play. I really enjoyed how this game plays. It's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend checking out Cape May. I believe I played it twice that weekend and had a great time both times. So I have 2 shots here of some of the costumes that I saw while I was there. The 2 people I was brave enough to say, hey, can I have your picture? If you happen to be the person in either of these costumes and you don't want your face in this video, give me a shout. I'd be happy to remove it. Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition also came out in 2021. For those of you who are longtime Terraforming Mars fans, you'll of course recognize that it's been released by all kinds of publishers at this point, designed by Jacob Frexelius and company. Very much plays like the original Terraforming Mars, but it is not the same game as the original game. It's smaller, but I wouldn't necessarily refer to it as lighter. Definitely give it a try if you're fans of the original. I did find out what Penny Arcade is. If you've ever been to Disney World or Disneyland, where you can buy pins of Mickey and Minnie and all of the Disney characters and all the princesses and each of the castles and each of the parks, and it's a huge, huge deal at Disney. They have Penny Arcade, and it's the same deal. It's getting pins of different board games and different meeples and different dice, and it's all about, getting the pins this year, the popular pins, the pins that you have to trade for. So there's this whole thing going on at Penny Arcade with lapel type pins. I only got one pin this year. It was from Sovereignty. And I got it for demoing one of their games, I believe. Given that I live in a car and space is critical, I don't plan to take part in the Penny Arcade oeuvre. But if that's a thing that you enjoy, plenty of that going on at PAX. Carrying on with the theme of playing train games, I did not get to play but did look extensively at the box for Maglev Metro. It's produced by Bezier Games and designed by Ted Alsbach. Route building, pickup and delivery. I'm all in to play this the first chance I get with someone who has a copy. Just didn't fit in with the timeline of what I was doing at PAX, but I'm definitely interested in this one, would like to know more about it. I did play one game in the first look arena, and that was Hungry for Humans. Hungry for Humans was a cute little card game. It is by Lonely Hero Games. You get to feed your monster friend with West Virginia local cuisine so that they eat that cuisine instead of eating you. It's very silly and funny. Its copyright is 2022, so I don't even think it was officially out yet when I played it at PAX, but I believe that it is out today, at least, and you should be able to find that. But Hungry for Humans, if you're looking for good, silly fun with a West Virginia theme, lots of good times there. Another aspect of PAX that I really enjoy are their, let's call them cones. They sort of look like traffic cones, but not quite. They're three-sided pyramids, very tall pyramids. And they have LFG written on it if you're looking for gamers, or you can flip that pyramid inside out and it'll be green on the other side and have LFT written on it, which is looking for teachers. So I liked that they had a very visual, obvious way to let people know that they were either looking for more players or they were players looking for someone to teach them the game. And that came in really handy, and this is only the, I think, second place where I've seen that sort of flagging system executed well. Definitely having the two-sided, for gamers or for teachers, and just the ability to notice by color if they were looking for gamers or looking for teachers, I thought was really well executed on their part. Another fun little card game I played was 2Can. The number 2Can was released in 2021, published by Amigo, and designed by Chaim Schaefer. It is a push your luck, lowest score wins kind of card game. It's got a couple of twists on how the cards score that keep it consistently interesting in the realm of pressure luck, lowest score wins kinds of card games. I very much enjoyed this game. I don't know that I would buy it necessarily for me and my collection, but I enjoyed playing it. I would play it again. Had a chance to play Lisbon Tram 28. It's published by Mebo Games and designed by Pedro Santos Silva. It is I'm going to say pickup and delivery, but it's more point to point. You're moving passengers around on the Lisbon Tram system and getting them to various monuments around Lisbon. It's billed as a love letter to Lisbon. And I enjoy it a lot, but then I like games like Underground, which is all about moving passengers around the London Underground. So this had that same kind of feel. You're moving passengers around and trying to get them to point. It scores very differently than on the Underground does. But yeah, still a lot of fun. Would definitely recommend it. Also got to play floor-sized Galaxy Trucker. For those of you who like the mayhem of building your own ship and hoping that you can outblast everybody else at the table, playing floor-sized Galaxy Trucker was a whole lot of fun. You get great big, giant Martian heads and, astronaut heads, and trying to get your 1, 2, and 3 piece torpedoes and engines and mayhem of grabbing pieces, and it was more fun than it should have been, and I enjoy the table-based version also, but of all the floor-sized games I've seen, this one was very amusing. And wrapped out my convention with a game or two of Letter Jam, which has been out for quite a number of years. It's a, draw cards, try to guess the word, slightly cooperative. It's been out for a while though, so you can go look that one up on Board Game Geek. And if you're into word games, you can check it out for yourself and see what you think.
So I've survived my first PAX Unplugged. It was a really good time. I have to say that I did not come well prepared on Friday. I am a bad convention going board game playing person who should know better. I did not have my usual mobility plan in place for when I go to these big conventions that are in huge convention centers with tons of walking. And like an idiot, I didn't bring a bag on Friday. Who goes to a gaming con and doesn't bring a bag, right? A bag that's got like your drink and a pen and maybe some snacks, whatever. So I didn't have any of that with me on Friday, and it showed. It was kind of a shambles. I'm really grateful that I had only intended to go for a very brief period on Friday. Today was Saturday. I'm not going to go on Sunday but I did go today, and I took care of myself much better, so I had a much better time. I knew going in that I needed a bag and snacks and a drink and a pen, and so I had all of that with me. Anyone who knows me knows that I have a really hard time walking for extended distances or standing on my feet for any length of time, especially on concrete floors like you'll typically find at one of these conventions. And so I'm in the habit at Gen Con and Origins of either making sure I have someone with me who's willing to step and fetch, or making sure that I've rented a scooter for the weekend. And I completely didn't even think about that until I got to PAX Unplugged. However, I do want to give a major shout out to the Philadelphia Convention Center, who happened to have a series of wheelchairs on site. And all you had to do to use one of their wheelchairs was to leave an ID with a specific guard desk, and then you could use the wheelchair for the entirety of the night. They have guards on staff the entire time the show's running. That worked like a champ. I got the wheelchair. I was able to scoot around the entirety of the merchant deck. And that's a real hardship for me at any convention, because then you're walking and standing on row after row after row after row of concrete slab. And the ability to manipulate a wheelchair through that crowd and not have to stand, be able to stop and demo various games, be able to, you kind of have to look between people because you're, at a slightly shorter level, but folks with handicaps who are in wheelchairs all the time, this is their reality. And it's my reality when I'm somewhere like a convention. Scooters are just better because they're motorized. This was the first time I think I've scooted around an entire convention where I'm propelling with my arms or with my feet. I do have some incredible calf cramps that I'm not used to. And I got a nice upper body workout, so I can't really complain too hard about that. But it did enable me to have enough spoons to do the entire merchant hall and then to wander back and forth. And so I got to experience a couple of unique things at PAX Unplugged that I've not experienced at any of the other major gaming conventions that I've gone to. Someone asked me if there were major differences between Gen Con Origins and PAX Unplugged, and yes, the answer is yes. Each one has their own very distinct flavor. One of the things that I really appreciate about Origins is that it has Origins After Dark. There's this whole adult late night things that are going on in the evening that are adult themed. I didn't see anything like that here at PAX. I'm not going to say that PAX is family friendly per se, although I'm sure it is, but it seems to cater to a younger crowd. There's also not the big bar on two. There is an upstairs dining area, but the dining area shuts, or all of the vendors for the dining area shut down at about 6 o'clock. So it's a good gathering place. It's a nice lounge kind of area where you could take a mask off if you wanted a moment of fresh air. So that was nice. I'll admit I went up there for the fresh air, but I also had a snack while I was up there. But it doesn't have that adult let's get drunk and party vibe that you get at Origins, which is also across the street from a whole bunch of bars. The Philly Convention Center is in the middle of Chinatown, so a lot of people around the dinner hour appear to have left the convention, gone and had good Chinese food, and then come back. And I approve that. If I were there with a crowd of friends, I would absolutely go out for dim sum and come back and play more games. One of the things that I like about the merchant hall here, almost every merchant had an area where you could sit down and demo the game. Even if it was just like a card table's worth or just one of those round standy tables. And that was at, I would say, 90% of the merchant booths had the ability right there to play the game right there. Maybe not the whole game, you could demo it. There was also a specific demo area where if they knew it was really hot and happening and likely to have a lot of people interested, they could have a couple of the games set up in the demo area, like one 6-foot table with like 3 different demos of it going on at the same time. So there was a lot of opportunity to demo new games. That was nice. There was an entire unpublished area that I didn't go to, but that's for anybody who was in the middle of creating a game. You could go there and playtest things and give feedback. That room was open the entire convention, so that was great. There were 2 or 3 dedicated, quieter gaming areas. The one when I went into it was louder than I wanted to be in. They had a diversity lounge that was closed when I tried to go to it. That's also a quiet gaming space. They had a classic cardboard, I think they called it, game area that I really enjoy the idea of. They ran a category tournament there. They ran a Boggle tournament there. They ran a 13 Dead End Drive tournament. They ran a Risk tournament. So all these different opportunities to play classic board games from like the 80s and 90s that nobody plays them anymore because they're not Euros, they're not worker placement, they're classic Milton Bradley Parker Brothers, whatever. And it was fantastic to have that opportunity to get a bunch of people who are like, oh, I remember this game, let's get in on this. I do think that PAX draws a younger crowd overall. I did play in a, I don't remember the name of the game, but it was a great big on your phone using an app, teams of 5 players. And so there were all these, a whole room full of big round banquet tables. Every table chock full of like 10 chairs, so 2 teams per table. Lots of people playing this game. Our team came in 3rd. Yay! Go lads of Quedlinburg! I was an honorary lad. It was lovely. The young men I was playing with were all very gracious, and we won. We all got a free pop socket for coming in 3rd. It was great. Yay! I've never owned a pop socket. Now I own one. I'll put it on my car. I don't know. So it was a really good time. I enjoyed that a lot. On the whole, I would say I had a really good time. If you like board gaming conventions, I would rank this as up there with Gen Con and Origins. It's definitely of that size, of that scope. There's all the board games going on, there's all the tournaments going on, there's a whole RPG track I didn't take any part in, there's a bunch of miniature gaming going on. It's everything you expect in a great big board gaming convention. So definitely, if you can make your way out to Philadelphia, I would recommend it. The person from the farthest away that I played with, but the person I met from the farthest away had come in from California. So props to her for flying out. But I met some incredible people. I got to play board games with lots of strangers, which I really enjoy. And then when I left, I stopped and got Chinese food. I had lo mein for dinner. It was delicious. I've got some wonton soup, which I might have given how windy it is right now. But yeah, I just wanted to put a cap on the end of that and invite you all to come out to PAX Unplugged. If you've never been before, I think you would really enjoy it and have a good time. So thanks for stopping by. I'll see you guys next time.